Like current music doesn't have enough scratching.
No.
That's why I think I scratch on the podcast because like make up for it. What if somebody hears scratching one day and they're like, "Oh man, that's like the inconsistent podcast when it starts. That's crazy. They used to be in music." Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs winning the national championship. I was in the building. We got a special episode of the Inconsistent Podcast. I'm here with my guest, Brandon Collins.
Hey, guys. Boom, fire.
I had no clue what to play as intro music for you. If you had to choose your own intro music, what would you want to hear?
It'd probably be Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison.
Return of the Mac?
Return of the Mac. That's my favorite song of all time.
That's your favorite song of all time? That's a good one.
I love that song so much. You remember like back in the day, like when you had to like record songs on a tape off the radio?
Mm-hmm.
I would like purposely always listen out for this song and like get it. And I finally got the whole song at one point.
It's the worst when you hit record and then they're like,
you missed the first 30 seconds.
Hot 107.9 on the radio. Yeah, I know you're trying to record this, but we got some stuff to talk about today, man. This is one of those hot records hitting the streets. That would suck. My song like that is No More Playing GA by Pastor Troy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
okay.
I would run and try to record it on the radio with my talk boy.
People don't remember that. Like, my sister-in-law, she's 20, and she's like, what do you mean tapes and, like, recording off the radio? I'm like, damn.
She might be like, what do you mean CDs?
Yeah.
You know, like think if you're 20 now, you really only had 10 years with CDs, and also
barely.
You were trying to learn everything else. You were just trying to exist as a human, and also CDs were being phased out.
Were you big on technology, like growing up? Because I was one of the first people that like knew about mini disc players and like MP3s and stuff like that.
I was as big as my parents would allow me to be.
Okay.
We, as a family, we never had a CD burner.
Oh, okay.
Ever. Like, never had, like,
still. You left some money on the table, bro.
Computers never had, I was the money.
Okay.
I was a kid saving up $5 in order to, like, buy CDs from my friends. Like, some of my good friends now and people, I met them from like buying music from them. Like I was a kid on the train buying the mixtape from the guy that came on the train and be like, "Oh yeah, I got the dedication, I got the Gangsta Grills," because I couldn't. Our computer wasn't strong enough to download anything, and also we didn't have a CD rewriter.
Got it. So I had that, and so I was able to make money. But the problem was, I kind of like, I've since gotten older and I learned about, time and how much money that like you're losing when you spend a lot of time doing something that shouldn't take that long. Because I had a dial up, but I had like a system where I could download songs. So people would give me playlists to make the CD. So I had to like download songs to customize it.
Gotcha.
But that would take me fucking forever. So by the time I'm like, I spent like 10 hours on a CD, I got $5 or something like that.
This girl at our school, she would do that, and she would like load the CD up, like 20 tracks.
Oh yeah.
And my 20 tracks would be all over the place.
That's how it should be.
I'd be like, yo, I need some Public Enemy, I need some Fat Boys, I need some DMX, I need some Justin Timberlake.
Okay, I
need some Snoop Dogg. I need like it was like
sometimes
everything I ever wanted. Like I want all this stuff. But I only got like the budget for one CD. I want the Strokes. Yo. I want like
there was a Rio. My first MP3 player was the Rio, and you could have 10 songs, bro. So I just remember being like, which ones do I put on? Like it used to be like that with iTunes at the beginning when you had the iPods that had the limited storage, and you're like, all right, which playlist do I put on our albums? You know what I mean? The
amount of music I had possession of never reached the limit of my iPod.
Oh, okay.
Like as I acquired music, well, also I drop an iPod or like something would happen.
Oh, damn.
I would go somebody else would put music on, they'd unplug it too fast.
Yep, that could jack up your shit too. Yep,
Kids don't even know about that.
Tech was rough, man.
You can unplug stuff at any time now, and it's not
everything.
like an issue.
Yep.
Back then, you could do everything perfectly, but if you didn't eject it, guess what? You have no music now,
bro. Like
no music on the way home.
Technology has advanced so much. Remember the Xbox 360? People just accepted like at one point this is gonna blow up. Like this ain't gonna work with the Ring of Fire.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Yeah,
no.
I got it like 2 years into it, and I was furious because I was just getting into GTA 4, and it just like I had to send it back. I got one back 3 months later.
Yo, pour one out for all the people that died from the Xbox 360 fires. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, Ring of Fire.
Know they was blowing up like that.
Yeah, it's like the Samsung. It was before Samsung, the phones and everything.
I feel like I had a computer like smoke on me before.
Oh damn!
You know, like yeah,
that'd be scary.
Yeah,
was it like,
no,
was it PC?
Scary. It was a PC. It was a Acer laptop. What? That I got from Circuit City when they were closing.
Circuit City.
Like they were on the way out, and I was like, yeah let me buy a laptop from here. That's not smart. No Geek Squad. You know?
Circuit City had terrible business practices. My freshman year in college, my roommate and I, we went to Circuit City to get a TV.
Okay.
And we picked the one in the store, but then the one they shipped us was like twice the size. So we had the biggest TV on campus. So our room was always popping.
Oh, that's dope.
And we didn't have to pay a difference or nothing. So I was like, oh, but this is bad business practice.
Where'd you go to school?
St. John's University.
St. John's University.
Queens, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the like old school basketball school. Like growing up, I would always hear people like, man, St. John's back in the day they used to have a basketball.
They did. Coming to America. They mention it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't that big of a deal when I went to school. But yeah, like that was like the most popular sport on campus.
I didn't realize they went to a St. John's game and coming to America.
Yeah.
But I also thought it didn't matter because Prince Hakeem doesn't know anything, like they could have took him anywhere. But oh man, that makes so much sense. It was a St. John's game in '88.
Yep.
That's
at MSG.
crazy.
They still do that a lot.
Really?
They usually play a lot of games at MSG, but they often lose those games. So,
man, that's sad, man. Who Chris Mullin played at St. John's? Is that right?
I think Ron Artest.
Ron Artest.
Yeah.
Ron Artest. Okay.
That's the one I know about.
Queensbridge. Yeah.
But that's the extent.
Okay.
I barely went to any
Was anybody notable there when you were there?
J. Cole.
J. Cole?
J. Cole was the president of Horiah my freshman year, and I used to like go to a lot of those meetings, and I would make fun of him.
What's that?
So Horiah was like the Pan-African Student Association on campus because we had like a lot of black organizations at St. John's, and he was the president, and he was also really good friends with my RA, not my RA, my orientation leader. And so, like, he introduced me, and no one knew, like, I didn't know, like, he was going to be J. Cole. I didn't even know he rapped and stuff.
Yeah,
he was just a student leader.
President Jermaine.
He was, yeah, exactly. And then I would tease him because he looked kind of weird, and I'm from Ann Arbor. I didn't really see any black guys that looked like him growing up. And so I'm like, oh, you look like a bootleg Chris Brown. He'd be like, ah. But I'm like, oh, he won that war. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, like. It is crazy though. Like, yeah, that's probably the most famous person I went to school with.
Yeah, no, I just meant basketball wise, and then I was like, wait, did J. Cole play on the basketball team? Because I feel like that's what he wants us to think.
He was a great student though. Apparently,
yeah,
academically, he was like cum laude and shit.
Okay, all right. Shout out to J. Cole, man. Lost his virginity, told us all about it. Mm-hmm. They play that song way too much here in L.A.
Really?
I don't know what's up with L.A. radio, but that song where J. Cole loses his virginity, they play it like at least 3 times a day. And it's not even new.
No, I mean, that beat is fire, but like that's a weird song to like drive to in the morning.
Yeah. It's like no matter what you're doing, it's like J. Cole, I never been here before. I never did this before, no. I never did this before, no. It all the time. All the time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she didn't know, I didn't know what I was doing. on my dick. I was like, Jesus Christ. But that's probably my favorite album of his.
What?
The album that like Role Models and that song are on. Why am I blanking on it right now?
I'm not as good with J.
Are you
Cole.
not J. Cole?
This is embarrassing. Is it Forest Hills Drive?
Yes, okay. It is. Yeah. Which is by our old campus in Queens. Because I went to school in Queens, but they had a Manhattan campus, and that's where I lived most of the time, and I would just take the shuttle bus to Queens.
Forest Hills Drive is not in Fayetteville, North Carolina?
I mean, there's a Forest Hills Drives in Queens near the St. John's campus. I'm pretty confident that's where he was staying.
Oh, wow.
Like when he was a student there.
I thought that house he's sitting on is in Queens?
I don't know, man. I know he is from North Carolina though, but yeah, but there is like literally is a Forest Hills Drive, like I would say 7 minutes away from St. John's. So I just always assumed it was associated with Queens.
Dang, that's crazy.
Mm. No. Class.
So wait, who is this girl? She was in his math class.
Well, I mean, I think this is like high school, ain't it?
Oh, yeah, J. Cool's way cooler than me.
Yeah, that'd be wild if he did at St. John's. He'd be like, yo, I was in theology.
My math class, you mean statistics 2000?
Or at St. John's, they made us do this class called Discover New York, which was like the biggest waste of $3,000 for tuition. Because it's just like, do tours around the city and then write essays about them.
Okay.
That's it. They'd be like, go see a musical. All right, cool. How was it? A. You know what I mean?
This is Discover New York class. You got to learn about all the New York stuff. What kind of Timbs are you supposed to have? How many souls are your Timbs supposed to have?
I mean, I was taught by an old Jewish lady, so I wasn't going to learn none of that.
No?
No.
She probably knew what was up. At St. John's?
Yeah, Discover New York was, it was weird because we literally, she would just say, okay, for this week, I want y'all to go to a church. Or the following week, I want y'all to write an essay about art at a museum that, really spoke to you. But it'd be like, we were paying for the class, and then we got paid to go to these places. And it's just like, what?
That was the worst.
Just wasting money.
You take a drama class, and then they'd be like, you got to see 3 plays. Mm-hmm. And then you got to pay to see 3 plays. Yep. And I'm like, man, I don't want to pay to see my peers do a play.
At the school, right?
Yeah, at the school.
Yo,
I already paid to go to the school.
It's everything like our homie Nori Davis says, college is just it's a scheme. It's just everyone's just hemorrhaging money. You're just wasting money, and then you buying a professor's book. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes they don't even know what edition you got. They're like, oh yeah, that's the old one. So you got to buy the new one that just published last month.
It's crazy how an edition could change everything.
Oh yeah.
It's like this is some of the same information, but y'all gonna switch all the page numbers. Y'all not just gonna add a little bit. Y'all gonna really just go back, switch the colors and everything. It's like, come on, man. I tried that buy the old edition trick. Somebody's like, man, save that money, dog.
It depends on what class.
Buy the old edition. It really does.
It really does.
Because
there's psychology classes I would take, and I had to always get the new edition. Because if you got the outdated one, you're gonna bounce some quizzes. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's different methods and stuff like that, or different ways to analyze behavior. And if you're out of date, you're gonna fail that class.
Let's get to it, Brandon. Where you from originally?
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Suburb of Michigan, yeah.
What was that like?
It was terrible. I mean, I appreciate it now, but there was very few black people at my schools. A lot of white liberal people. It was kind of like Get Out, the white liberal mentality. I'm going to pretend like I'm all about it and all for, equal rights and stuff. But if anything compromises me or my family, then, all bets are off kind of thing.
I don't know if you've seen all of Get Out. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
That's true.
So are there cyborg black people there with older white people inside of them? Spoiler alert.
I mean, there are a lot of black Republicans in Michigan, so that's definitely possible.
Okay. But it can't be too crazy though, because y'all got Big Gretch.
Who?
The governor.
Who's the? Oh, you talking about Whitmore or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, who they try to get. They try to capture.
Yeah,
that's
true. That's true. They did try to capture.
There's some wild stuff happening in Michigan these days. My sister keeps me posted on it, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, yeah, they try to kill the governor. They, and obviously the corruption in Detroit and stuff. Like, Michigan's had a rough go the past 36 years since I've been alive, essentially.
Dang. So you're blaming yourself. You're saying that you came in the game and ruined Michigan.
Every time I went to a Detroit Tigers game, they lost. Every time I watched the Lions game, they lost. My family knew Kilpatrick and stuff like that. I was like, oh, yeah, this ain't going to... Okay. A lot of stuff didn't pan out well.
And then you go to St. John's, and then the Pistons go to the finals. That's what's going on?
They did very well, actually. Yeah. When I left Michigan. They actually did really well. I remember being like, damn, they're winning games. Because in high school, you bet, you sometimes, you feel cool and you bet on, games and stuff like that. And I always lost. And then, I got to St. John's and oh, yeah, the Pistons doing good, Brandon. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I stopped paying attention.
Oh, man. And so you stayed in New York?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been in New York. I was in New York for 17 years. I moved in 2004 for college, and then I just stayed. I lived in Manhattan for a little bit, and then I pretty much set roots in Astoria.
Okay.
But then the wife and I bought a house in Woodhaven, so we stayed in Queens, but Astoria got all that gentrification, so can't afford any houses over there.
Yo, you make it sound bad, dog. Gentrification.
Well, Astoria, there was some nice food places. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, people, I get it. It does terrible things in neighborhoods, but every now and then you be like, hey, I could walk down the street.
Yes, you can.
Frolic.
I used to rollerblade down the street. I feel like I was gentrifying Astoria because
you from Michigan.
Street, all of my old street was a lot of old Greek families, and I'd be rollerblading around with a fanny pack and my headphones. And it'd just be staring at me like, what's happening?
You ain't have to do all that. Well, you ain't have to rollerblade and have the fanny pack.
I like to, I don't like things in my pockets. If I move, I gotta be, agile.
I got you.
You know what I mean? I don't want to have, a bulging pocket, with my wallet and stuff.
I don't mind a bulging pocket.
Really? It's not good for your body, man. You might get sciatica.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's where that comes from.
That's one of the things that can cause it. But yeah, I did some research. That's why I got thin wallet.
But see, I know if it's big, I know it's there, and if it's missing, I know it's missing.
That's fair. I have been forgetting my wallet a lot because
it's too thin. You forget about it.
But you don't feel uneven?
No, I don't feel uneven.
When the woman used to sleep with the pee under the bed, I always felt like you probably could feel that a little bit. Throw you off. Didn't she used to put a pee? Wasn't that the story, the children's story? She put a pee under the bed?
We ain't get that one. I know the woman in the shoe. I know
Gingerbread Man.
Miss Mary Mack.
Miss Mary Mack? Who's that?
Dressed in black silver buttons down her back. She went to see the cow go over the moon.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
I know that. I know
Three Little Pigs.
Three Little Pigs.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the true story of the Three Little Pigs? The wolf's perspective?
Nah, what's that?
He was just saying he wants a cup of sugar for his grandma, and he just happened to sneeze a lot. He had a cold, and the houses went down. That's the true story. Then they put him in jail. It's crazy.
But he was talking trash, though.
Well, the pigs were mean.
He was like, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. That's a threat.
It is a threat, but according to the wolf,
that's assault.
According to the wolf, he was just saying, "Hey, I need some sugar," and then the pigs would be like, "Hey, go screw yourself," or your grandma ugly, and that's why he was like, "Yo, what's the problem?" And then they said that he said, "I'll huff and I'll puff," and he's like, "No, I'm just huffing and puffing because I'm sick."
I feel like those stories was to warn kids, "Hey, don't play with wolves. They not dogs."
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like Little Red Riding Hood, the Three Little Pigs. All that, the wolves in sheep's clothing, all that stuff is like, hey, you might see a wolf out here. Don't think you could pet it.
Yeah,
bring it home. That ain't a dog.
That's true. That's true. That's what they used to tell us in Boy Scouts.
What? A wolf ain't a dog?
Yep.
I don't know if that's how they said it. I don't know. I was only a Cub Scout. I never made it to being a boy.
Yeah, you never had the little patches on the side?
We had patches and stuff, but we had like Navy uniforms, and Boy Scouts got the khaki.
Yep.
Yeah, we a little too messy. We little kids, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I stuck with it to junior year in high school. I stuck with it a little bit too long.
Were you an Eagle Scout?
I almost was. I dropped out because I started doing comedy and like theater and stuff at the other high school. So
wait, when did you start doing comedy?
When I was 16.
Dang.
So yeah, like Ann Arbor was dope, like in one way because it was like really high income like area. So the schools had crazy budgets for like creative arts. So like our theater at Pioneer, they were the first one of the first high schools in the country to get the rights to Les Mis. And so they like did like a live production of it, and then they had the money to hire a local comedian who ran a sketch comedy group. Where like that's how I learned stand up, that's how I learned sketch, that's how I like kind of got into improv exercises and all that stuff.
So wait. When did Les Mis come out?
A long time ago.
Why are they just now getting the rights?
Because it's expensive.
Who the hell owns Les Mis?
The rights are crazy expensive.
For real?
Yeah, like yeah, man. It's like it could be a lot. Like they did an adaptation of Dracula, and they paid like 80 G's to fly a dude out from New York to direct it. That's a high school play, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was like they had.
I gotta figure out how to get some bread out of this school. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, move to Ann Arbor, be like, hey, I'll teach comedy.
I'm gonna direct house party to play at y'all school. Okay, I need the 2 best dancers at the school, and the 4 best dancers at the school. Somebody that could DJ.
Yeah. I don't know how it is now, but back in 2003, you could have done that. They would have been like, "All right, cool, yeah."
Man, that's nuts. 80,000 to direct a high school play of Dracula.
They brought this brother out to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he had people like he had these kids like the kid that played Dracula. He was doing like 10-hour prep sessions and rehearsals with this kid.
So he was just full-time Dracula.
Oh yeah, he was nuts. Yeah, like he made this kid crazy. I remember like the kid had to shave his head to play Dracula, and he would just be like I remember he had this hot girlfriend. She dumped him because he was going cuckoo bananas in school.
Y'all check her neck.
Oh, I mean, she was already really pale, so I don't know if that would have raised any flags. You know what I mean?
10 hours a day. How y'all even let that happen, man?
Because we would all like. Because I was a doctor. Do you know Dracula, the story and stuff like that?
I just know the parts that DMX told me about.
Okay. Well, there's a doctor that like treats the first woman that gets like attacked by Dracula in the story.
Okay.
And he's like in love with her, and he's in love with the character who's like the girlfriend of the main dude in the story. And so I had like a monologue, and I'm in a few scenes, but I didn't have that much. So if I'm not working on the monologue with the director, I wasn't really around. But because this dude was Dracula and the other guy was like John Seward or whatever, they had like these long
John
rehearsals.
Cena's in Dracula?
I can't enunciate
him. You can't see him.
But it's like it was crazy, man. Because they would both be like, yeah, we got here, like we got to the theater at 4 and we went home at like 2. And you're like, what? Like, what?
That's nuts.
And they had to go to school the next day. It wasn't like it was like a Friday night or something. I don't know how the parents let that happen.
So after school to 2 in the morning, that's when he doing it?
That's when he's rehearsing with those. I know it sounds really
crazy.
Bad,
I mean, other dude, he getting his 80 grand. So I get why you would be like, yeah, dog, it's 4 to 2. What's up?
But that's like Broadway hours, right? I feel like that's like I can see a Broadway actor like having to rehearse like that.
Yeah.
But like a high school kid, that's great. Like
I don't know, you gotta get in the movies. You gotta get into Broadway after that. What you doing if you dedicate your life to play Dracula and then you just go and live a regular life? Well, who is this kid? Daniel Day?
He tried to be, but you know what's wild? Neither one of them act anymore.
That's sad, man. That's a sad story, dog. I would hate to be out, man, at the Cheesecake Factory and see somebody be like, man, you was Dracula at my high school.
That happened to me with the dude who played the older Pete on Pete and Pete. Like,
yeah.
Like back in like mid 2000s, I went to a diner with my mom, and then she accidentally like opened up the bathroom, and it was him, but with like a big beard. And then he ended up being in a movie like a year later, and he had that same beard. So it's definitely that guy. I don't know his name, but I was like, that's Pete from Pete and Pete.
Dang, I know like Danny Tamborelli.
Okay,
I know the young Pete's name.
Yeah.
But what's the old Pete's name?
I can't remember.
Jeez, man. We don't look nothing up on this podcast. That's the only rule. So, unfortunately, we can't look it up. But, hey, shout out to both the Pete's out there. Shout out to Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes.
The time you put in on there, Adam West had a co-starring role, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody involved with Pete and Pete.
Adam West had one of my favorite Simpsons cameos ever.
Yeah.
When he played himself, and he like goes like... He like kind of drifts off and starts talking about Batman in the 60s and shit.
Yeah.
And Bart and Lisa just slowly back away from him. It's like at this like comic book convention.
I love Adam West Batman. It's on Tubi, and I feel like that's disrespectful. It should be on HBO Max. First page when you type in Batman, you should see my dog. You know what I'm saying? But at least it's somewhere. So, you know.
You love that running with the bomb scene over his head?
Come on, man. Classic. I used to do that all the time. You know, some days you just can't throw away a bomb.
That's true. That's true.
Man, then it was ducks, and he didn't want to kill the ducks. Man, these new Batmans be ducks. So, Brandon, if you could have any superpower, what superpower would you have?
Oh, damn. I want to have the ability to walk through things. Because I feel like that gives me access to
Kitty Pride?
Yeah. Because I'm just like, immediately when you asked that, I was like, I'm going to walk into a vault, and get some jewels or money or something.
So you a villain immediately. Oh, you get powers and then you just...
As soon as you ask that question.
The thievery begins.
Yeah, I'm not going in to like save somebody.
That's I can.
I'm like, why can't I be like Hancock? I'd be like, I'll help you out occasionally, but I'm looking out for... Number one, you know, I got a family to feed.
I guess you could feed your family saving the world.
Can you? Because that's what I loved about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was like, you know, I'm Falcon, but I don't make no money. Like, we about to foreclose on the house. Like, it doesn't pay to be a hero.
There's got to be funds and grants and stuff for the heroes.
Do you know how long it take to process that? Can you imagine Iron Man like filling out a FAFSA or like some financial aid?
They should have some superheroes who don't have it, like they don't have shape ups. They don't have no, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they doing bad for a second. And other superheroes like Tony Stark, you know, like always everything crispy, always got the suit, always got the new car. But then he got to deal with the fact that, like, Captain America, Thor, they just out here thugging it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, maybe not Thor because he a god. He got different, you know, lightning shape-ups and whatnot. You know what I mean? But, yeah. That's interesting. Walk through. What if you get stuck? Or what if it's like Nightcrawler where you can't go if you don't know
if I haven't like been there or something like that? I have a big imagination, so I imagine I would just be able to teleport somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if it's not where I want to be, then it's an adventure. You know, I keep an open mind.
How does it work? If you get shot, you gotta just know it's coming. You gotta turn it on.
If I get shot?
Yeah. If you can walk through things, can you just like activate it? Like you just can't get shot in the back.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I need that.
Because
if I'm a villain, I need to worry about
shot, but if you get shot in the front, you just like, all right, cool. I just need to know it's coming.
Yeah, I just go through it
and turn it on. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, if you could live anywhere, if you could live in the Death Star, or if you could live in that you know where the Justice League, who were the bad guys? What was they?
Yeah, because Bane.
There's the Injustice League.
Not the Injustice
No,
League.
it's with like Bane
the
and
Legion
like,
of Doom.
yes, yes,
no,
ran by Lex Luthor, right?
It's not Legion of Doom. Is it Legion? Because isn't there that TV show on HBO Max? It's Legion of Doom.
I'm talking about the Super Friends.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the 60s. I'm talking about when they had the little thing and it was like a skull and it would come out the mud and it was like, that's where Lex Luthor would have his little purple with the collar pop.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Your man that be messing with Aquaman with the eyes and Cheetah and the Joker. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't invite all the Batman villains, but the Joker would be invited for sure. You know, Solomon Grande, Bizarro, Superman, all them would be in there. Where would you rather live? You rather live there or you rather live in the Death Star?
I honestly would be like, if I'd rather live in a Death Star, because at least like those missions succeed. Most of the time, Legion of Doom they fail. So if I'm going full villain, I know we're blowing up some planets on the Death Star.
The Justice League never tried to destroy the Legion of Doom, though. They always just was playing defense.
Well, yeah,
the Rebels really tried to like come through and blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, but how often did they succeed? You need a Skywalker. The times when there's
the
not Skywalker
rebuilding
around,
on the Death Star is incredible.
Yeah,
like they really good. Like they better than some of these places out here. Got construction all the time. They constantly getting it almost built.
Yeah,
them rooms in the Star Destroyer, Princess Leia looked clean. You know what I'm saying?
They probably got good meals.
She had on all white. Yep. You know, it didn't seem dirty at all. Nope. You know, you got your ill sliding doors and whatnot.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they got any TVs. I don't think they got any plugs.
Come on, bro. It's the Death Star.
I don't know.
They got the top of the line technology available in that.
You think so?
Yeah, they had like,
because it's new. Ain't nothing like a new building. I love a new a new building. You walk in a place and you didn't expect it to be new. Like a nice hotel is nice when it's nice, but when it's nice and it's new, I could cast to the TV. Like,
you don't think that the Death Star would have that kind of
the shower pressure crazy?
You don't think that Death Star has those features? The Legion of Doom definitely doesn't have that.
You don't think so?
Half those people don't shower. I guarantee you, the Joker, Bane, you know Bane smells the high heaven. They ain't showering, and that's too many egos too. Like Death Star, I'm probably the man.
But I feel like Legion of Doom, you could wear whatever you want, and you're not gonna look too crazy because the Riddler right there. True. Cheetah right there. You know what I'm saying? You show up in whatever drip you want to. Nobody's going to be like, Solomon Grande, what he got on? You know what I'm saying?
If I get surf and turf for dinner every night on the Death Star and I just have to wear like the same suit all the time, I'm good with that than being like, I don't need to dress up like I'm going swimming at the Legion of Doom. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I can,
I feel like you would be down to wear one of them big helmet things that they make you wear on the like the Empire.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that. I sweat too much, man. I hate sweating. I would lose my mind. I would have to be a half cyborg, like where I don't feel nothing uncomfortable.
Yeah, or
like I don't have anxiety to be able to do that. Because I was, those are dedicated soldiers.
How many podcasts you can go in that deep about Star Wars? And talk about J. Cole, man. Only on the Inconsistent Podcast. Would you rather have fur or scales?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with scales just because I like the texture.
Okay.
Like for some reason, I'm terrified of snakes. Mm-hmm. But when I rub snake scales, like that's just like a very soothing feeling for me.
Okay.
Fur, I just said I don't like the sweat, so I'm just thinking about fur, and I'm like, I know my body would adjust to warm temperatures and having fur, but I'm like, nah, I'm good.
So
I don't want to leave hair everywhere and shit, you know.
But scales, you leave your whole skin. You just leave your whole imprint.
Yeah, but that's like a way. Like I feel like I could choose when I leave my skin. You know, it's like I was there. Whereas with the fur, it could be anywhere. Like it could be places I don't intend it to be.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm shedding my skin, I might wait to an opportune time and like send it as a message. You know what I mean? Like, and I can choose. Whereas the fur, it just, sporadic.
One time when I was a kid, these iguanas dug their way up into our yard.
Okay.
And like this guy in our neighborhood had some iguanas and they escaped and they dug it into our yard and then they shed their skin like on our porch or whatever. And it was wild.
That had to be wild.
Yeah, we had to call animal control because they were like huge. And then like when the animal control like got them, like they was like whipping their tails on the truck and like putting dents in the truck. It was crazy.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, things that do shed skin are usually terrifying.
Yeah.
Like I've seen like photos of anaconda skins and stuff like that, and like big boa constrictors, and I'm like, I'm good. It drives me crazy when people have big pet snakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you expect the end game to be there?
I don't think they think about that. I think it's the thrill of just being like, yo, I own a snake. I remember when they put that snake on Britney Spears. I'll never forget that. And I remember thinking like whose idea was this?
Yeah, because she got to carry this thing while she's trying to like sway her hips and everything. Like she must have good upper body strength.
Pharrell did not make this beat so that y'all could put a snake in her arms.
Wasn't there a snake in the video too, though?
It might have been.
Yeah.
But that's not what we was looking at.
No, of course
we
not.
Wasn't like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. I know what you were looking at. That was a good album for
the
music
dance
videos.
moves. That's what I was looking at.
That was the same album with the Ying Yang Twins song, right?
Maybe.
She had a song called "I Got That Boom Boom" with the Ying Yang Twins.
I got that boom boom.
Yeah, it's one of the wildest. I don't even know if it's pop. It's just crazy. Because the Ying Yang Twins are like, yeah, get Britney. And then she's just like, I got that boom boom. There we go.
Wait, calling Britney Spears shouty is already wild. Second one.
You've never heard this?
No, I don't think I've ever heard this.
Keep playing. It's wild.
Okay, Pharrell did this beat for sure.
Britney? Shorty, she thinks she fine. She thinks she bad.
Okay, I think this is a Ying Yang Twins song that they didn't choose for themselves, and just like
they just took their like
they
audio.
just was like, you could have this Britney Spears. They're not talking to Britney Spears like that. No way.
Yeah.
This kind of disrespectful.
It's a wild
It's kind of
song.
disrespectful. She thinks she bad. She's the biggest pop star in the country. She just made out with Madonna. I think she knows she's bad.
Yeah, but
it sounds like a parody.
you got a little guitar in there.
Wait, no, this guitar.
Like, like bringing back that banjo. That was when Bubba Sparks brought that back. Yeah, man. She laughing and giggling. Let's work. Okay. Oh.
Come on, phoned it in. Boom, boom. Why you look so sexy?
Uh-huh. That's some fire lyrics right there, bro.
Who wrote this? D-Rock or Kane?
It'd be crazy if Nas wrote this. I can't believe you never heard this song.
What was this like? What were they thinking? Were they thinking this was going to get placement in a movie? Were they thinking that this was going to be a single? Because this is not an album cut type of record. This is just like...
Oh, yeah. Like, the album is already, like, kind of bad. Because I think that's the, like, Me Against the World album.
Okay, like, so you a Britney Spears head.
So, growing up in the suburbs, like, I liked.
No, don't put that on the suburbs.
I liked hip hop.
Don't put that on the suburbs.
I loved rock and pop.
You could have messed with some Blink 182. You could have messed with some Alien Ant Farm. You could have messed
Smooth
with
Criminal. That's a great cover.
Some Sum 41.
Yep.
You could have
Third Eye Blind.
You are a Britney Spears fan.
Yes, I mean I didn't never said I was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I love pop music. You know what I mean? Like, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
All right.
I was into all that.
Yeah.
Hanson.
Okay.
Mbop.
Hey, man. Trailblazers.
Yeah.
White boys scatting.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought I'd see the day. Come on, man.
Justin Timberlake's like,
what if Hanson really would have got off and then like lyrics would have just got out of here?
They did. Did you not hear their albums? Listen to this. This hot fire.
This is fire though. They sang the mess out of this nonsense.
They're little kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did he just say?
I don't know. He said,
what was that?
I mean, you don't need to know the lyrics. You just gotta feel it,
what
Rob.
did he say? We gonna figure it out.
I'm hearing, so it looks like there's an angel in this life, but that can't possibly.
There was an angel in this life. How come when we slow it down, we still can't understand what they're saying?
I heard that one. Only one or two will last, but I have no idea.
Man, I can't hear nothing. And I'm listening, yo. This is wild. I can't hear nothing that they're saying, and I'm listening intently. Hold up. Let me turn the beat off. Let me see if that works.
Just do acapella.
Yeah. I have no clue what they talking about.
No idea. Okay. I didn't hear that one. I sort of heard hold on to one you really care, but then after that it sounded like,
come on, man. I feel like if you play Mbop backwards,
oh, you're gonna get some satanic.
Really, you know what I'm saying?
Messages,
you really gonna figure out what they talking about. If you listen to that,
unlock the secrets to Illuminati.
That pop, you really gonna be. Hold up, let me see if.
I rock to a Hanson a little bit.
Yeah.
I even got like some of their older albums.
Older albums.
Yeah.
Like older than before Mbop?
Oh, after Mbop. I think that was their first commercial album.
Yeah, I'm getting scared right now. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies, baby. Turn that Hampson backwards. It's getting intense.
I'm sure there's a lot of artists, especially back in the 90s, that if you put the stuff backwards, you're going to learn some stuff you wish you could unlearn.
Really disappointed when I played that Missy backwards. And it was just, I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it backwards.
And what happened?
No, that's what it is.
That's just, oh, okay. So
it's not, you think, oh, it's going to be something crazy. Yeah.
Mr. Gonna be like, Aaliyah's still alive. And you be like, oh, wow. Like, you know what I mean? But
I used to have the effect. I don't know if I got it.
We're on the request line. They don't make music like this no more.
Yeah.
They don't do beats like this no more.
Come on, ba ta 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 ta.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
That's wild.
She just took that part and then played it backwards.
Mm-hmm. Missy Elliott, she was ahead of her time.
What you call it? ODB had a whole verse that was backwards.
Oh, what song was that?
That song, I think, is that Shame on the...
I was just...
He
he was way ahead of his time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like his albums, like he was saying such off the wall stuff.
Come on.
That was like, I sometimes forget that black people can be that weird.
I love
I mean?
love playing for people the first time. That's one of my things that I like to do on the road is play either Nigga Please or the Return of the 36 Chambers for somebody for the first time.
Okay.
And
wow.
cuz it's like Adult Swim but like audio.
That's a good comp.
It's like really like you got to be in a certain headspace, but it's like after a while you're laughing with ODB.
I've heard Nigga Please enough times where like I don't have to be in a certain mindset. When I was growing up and like it takes a minute to kind of get used to the different Wu-Tang members, not only like together but also separately, and like get their vibe, and accept it. Because like if you try to like just go ignorantly in and be like, let me listen to the 36 Chambers, and you're just like, what is going on? Like,
yeah.
But once you embrace everyone's signature style, you're like, oh, this is actually fantastic.
What faction of the Wu-Tang are you? Like who do you rock with the most? Are you a Ray Ghost guy? You a Method Man guy? You an Inspector Deck guy? You a Jizza guy? You a RZA guy? You a ODB, like who do you rock with?
I'm a RZA guy just because I listen to so many of his songs, just his beats, like the Afro Samurai soundtrack. I listen to that all the time.
Really?
Just the instrument, like the beats that he puts together are just so inspirational, and there's such a specific vibe, but it always helps in my writing.
When the RZA had that era where he was like wearing the mask and stuff, I was kind of into the Bobby Digital and stuff, but at the same time, when I got older, I think I became more of a Ray Ghost guy.
Okay.
Even though I didn't sell any drugs or anything, but it was just like, I don't know. I just kind of I like the way that sound. I like the way the Purple Tape sounded.
That's fair. I got introduced to Raekwon through Outkast.
Okay.
Stu and Barbie.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That is like, because I remember listening to Clement, I'm like, yo, this whole album. And I started looking up all the other artists and stuff like that. And he was the first, like, because he's like, that's the third song, I think, on the album. So
there's a great article from an Atlanta paper called Creative Loafing called The Oral History of Aquemini. And on there, they talk about how that record came to be. Basically, Raekwon ran into Outkast at Phipps Plaza, which is like the most high-end mall in Atlanta. It's not as high-end now, like some crime and stuff happens outside of there, but like at the time it was like only the super rich are there, and then people who like want to go see a movie that's not in like general theaters and stuff. Like I saw Beats Rhyme in Life because that was the only theater.
It was like an independent theater and stuff like that. That had like IFC movies and stuff like that.
It was just like So,
like the Angelica in the City or something. Got it.
And so they ran into each other there.
Okay.
And then they go in the studio. They're like, we should record something. And then they go in the studio together. And then Raekwon's like, I want y'all in the booth with me. I want to feel y'all energy. And they said he had like a bottle of Hennessy in his hand. They're in the booth. They're all rapping. They said Raekwon's spilling Hennessy everywhere. But basically they recorded it like in the booth together. And like when you get that picture in your head, I don't know. To me, that it feels like that, you know?
Yeah, because the verses are so compact and like in the they just flow off each other, and there's no like one of those awkward pauses you sometimes hear with features with the beat, like they let it ride and then they transition them in.
Yeah,
what have you. That makes a lot of sense.
And then to me, the Skewy on the Barbie video is the birth of Andre 3000 as we know him.
Okay,
like platinum wig, like the furry pants. I mean, like football pads, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, this song is good, but
he went there. Yeah.
Did everybody see that? Like, you go back to school. Like, did y'all see it? Prove me.
Yeah.
What did Andre have on?
That was definitely the album where he became very like self-confident and like how he wanted to like be perceived. Because remember in Aliens, they have a sketch, don't they, at the end where it's like, oh, I don't know what these guys are. I thought,
no, that's on the
after Scooby, yes,
yeah,
Scooby in the bar. But they talked about
first they alien, first they was pimps, then they aliens, then they genies. Man,
I get all of them.
When were they genies?
Yeah. Well, on the cover of AT Aliens, you know, like when he looked, because I remember thinking that when I first saw the album cover, I'm like, is he a genie or something like that? But that's what I loved about it, and that's why. Did you ever? I know you did Comedy Outliers that Mike Brown and I used to produce back in New York. It's a successful stand-up comedy show. For our second year, we performed as Outkast. And I was Big Boy, and Mike was Andre, and he wore he was shirtless and he had a wig and those tight like little pants that he had from the Hey Ya video. And we did Rosa Parks though. Out of all the discography of Outkast, we settled on that song. And the people did not. Majority of the people did not follow along what was happening. Like they didn't know the lyrics.
That's sad, man.
And then Mike, you know, he had his bare chest out at a comedy show, you know, and all the stand just ripped him after that.
I bet.
Because I just dressed like a troubled youth, but he looked like Andre 3000.
That's the fun of being Big Boy.
Yep.
The fun of being Big Boy is
Mike said I just
you
like
could go stop at the gas station on the way to the show, and people be like, "Oh man, what's up?" Yeah. Meanwhile, Andre's like, we have to go straight there. I don't want to make any stops.
Yep.
I don't need anyone shaking my decision to wear this thing made out of basket.
He's like, I'm wearing these clown pants and like tight ass Converses.
That, or maybe Andre has a duffel bag and then he doesn't. He
does his costume. He changes when he gets there.
Yeah.
I feel like he's confidently walking out the front door.
Maybe, maybe not. I could see it going both ways because I could see Andre seeing it as like I totally separate the show from the person, and the person I am, I could be myself up there, but you know,
I mean,
like when he was doing the coveralls for the reunion and stuff, I feel like all of that was just like, you know, he just put that on right before he got on stage.
Maybe. I mean, it breaks my heart. Did you ever hear the Rick Rubin interview with Andre 3000?
Yes.
Where he was like, I feel like no one wants to hear from me. He's like, I don't rap because I feel like no one wants to listen to what I have to say. And that broke my heart, bro. He has one of the best verses of all time on The Art of Storytelling Part 1. Like,
come on, man.
Like, I'm like, how do we get to a point where Andre 3000 feels that way? Like, that the people don't want to hear from him.
I mean, I think part of it is we want what we want. You know, there's a lot of people that want the raps. You know, and he sees how they treat Drake. He sees how they treat, you know, everybody. Yeah. You know, and there's people that they want those bars, and I think he was such a trailblazer. You know, it's bugged out how people are like, all the credit that goes to 808s, and it's like 808s is 4 years after the Love Below, and you know, like Andre was rapping and singing, and you know,
he's always ahead of his time,
just making music. I watched Idlewild on a plane recently.
Not terrible,
and the cast is like a who's who of Hollywood at that time. It's like such a time capsule for like everybody who was popping at that time.
That was Terrence Howard, Paul Patton, obviously Outkast. Who else was in that? But yeah, there's like a lot of popular black actors that were in that movie. Yeah. And I remember the biggest issue, and I had this issue too, was that they were barely in the movie together. Like they had their own storylines, but they like only popped in because they were like childhood friends, but they only had maybe like 6 minutes of screen time together in the whole movie. So people were like, this is supposed to be an Outkast movie. And I'm like, I kind of get it, though. Because at that point, they were kind of going in different directions in general.
Well, the music they're pulling from are two separate albums.
That's it. Yeah. Which I was were you disappointed in that, though, that there wasn't enough new music in Idlewild? Because I thought we were going to get a whole new album.
I remember the lead up to the Speaker Box of Love Below. They're like, we're making a movie. Yep. It's going to be on HBO. And then it ended up being a theatrical release that came out 2 years later that had a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then forgetting, oh yeah, they were supposed to be making a movie to go along with
Okay.
Speaker Box and The Love Below. But it's interesting because to me, I think if Idlewild would have came out instead of like
Speaker Box and Love Below,
instead of the Caroline video, or instead of the Prototype video or the Ghetto Music video, I don't know if I would have the same relationship with everyone, like the consensus feeling of those songs. I always know how I feel about Outkast, but I kind of gauge what other people feel about Outkast by like what is out there.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, because I remember the first time I heard Speaker Box and Love Below, like you talking about earlier, the being in the right headspace.
Yeah,
because I'm so used to them being a whole album together, right?
Yeah,
and so then you're like Speaker Box, you're like, all right, this is a little bit too much Big Boy, and then you get to Love Below, you're like, this is a little bit too much Andre, and then you had to like accept what it was, you know what I mean, as a fan. And I think once you get over that hump, so that would have actually lessens the blow. Also, the screen time together in Idlewild, to your point, and stuff. Yeah, but that I remember that was hard.
Yeah,
because they were also on Roses together, and I'm like, wait, so why did we just get a whole album of this?
Yeah, they were on Roses. Isn't Andre's on Ghetto Music?
I think so. Yeah, but like Big Boy's not on any of the Love Below, right?
In the place to be and not to be at the same time. Yeah. And then
but Big Boy's not on Love Below.
He's on Roses.
Roses is in Speaker Box, is it?
No. Roses is on the Love Below.
Okay.
I think.
I could have sworn Roses was on Speaker Box.
Am I tripping?
Because I feel like the hits, the singles for Andre were obviously Hey Ya, and then because and Big Boy had The Way You Move, and then together they had Roses, but I'm pretty sure Roses was on the Speaker Box version, the side of it. But I could be wrong. Because I'm just thinking Andre was like Happy Valentine's Day. Obviously, you got She Lives in My Lap. And I feel like it would be more awkward to have that song on Love Below than it would Speaker Box. That's why, like, my mind, I can't fully remember everything.
Maybe because you was out here downloading music.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? Making
I bought
your
that
own
CD
little
though.
Mixes and stuff.
I bought those CDs though.
I don't know. I think Roses was on.
Because that came out
Love Below.
What, 04?
Yeah.
I was a senior in high school, so.
Or maybe it came out. Did it come out?
I think it came out my senior year
late
in high school.
I know that they consciously put it out right before the Grammy cutoff because they were a casualty of timing when it came to Grammys, and so there was a conscious effort to make
sure they were eligible.
Yeah, then not that they were eligible when like people were talking about the album.
Okay.
It is the next track after Hey Ya.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
So what's after that then on the album? After Hey Ya, Roses.
What if this track list is not
right? Prototype.
Good Day.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Good Day, sir.
Well, that's a sketch, yeah, right? For Foxworth Bentley.
Yeah. I'm doing fantastically well. And then after that is Behold a Lady.
Do you remember Foxworth Bentley was on the Making the Band?
I do remember Farnsworth Bentley was on Making the Band season 2.
He was supposed to manage them, and they just didn't respect him just because of the way he dressed.
Well, also he's the guy that follows Diddy with an umbrella. Like they just saw you,
but that's so disrespectful to everybody.
They just saw G-Dep pull your pants down and push you down in a video, and now you're gonna tell me that you're shutting the studio down? I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Why Fred is like, man, I don't know why he put closing the studio, man, just go you fighting.
That was a crazy season of reality TV.
CHOPPER. Man, I loved making the band. I didn't watch.
Talking about the one with Lou Pearlman and O-Town?
Forget that.
Yeah.
The first season of Making the Band 2, when it was on, I only caught a couple episodes. But then when they would run them like 10 in a row, them episodes 20 minutes. And I went back and watched during the pandemic. I posted
Where did you find them? Because it's hard to find those episodes.
I hope this doesn't blow up the spot. Someone put them on YouTube.
I found some on YouTube, but I didn't find the whole seasons on YouTube. So we'll talk offline, so I don't
most
interrupt your viewing experience.
The stuff you want to see is on YouTube.
Okay, like you see the rap battles.
The rap battles always been on YouTube,
but to get into
me, that's what started YouTube.
I couldn't find them. Especially the old ones.
The rap battles are my Tezande. That's my intro to YouTube. I'm like, man, what is this? They got cat videos too. That's crazy because they got Ness versus Jay Mills.
Oh jeez,
yeah.
That was great TV, man.
Great TV.
That album was terrible.
The first season, half of it is just a Diddy reality show.
Oh yeah.
It's just Diddy remodeling this real world house to make it hip hop. Like it's just Diddy doing random stuff.
Diddy is one of my favorite celebrities of all time, and the fact that he had seasons where he was firing the talent that the audience had been following, and did it so nonchalantly.
And it's so
when he
wild
fired the band, he was just
because it's so crazy to have a show where every other show you're gonna try to boost the talent and bank off of the talent, and this is a show to show, hey, yo, hip hop's rough. You might get a deal and still not make it. And then they just though last season they're just berated by everyone about how they squandered this opportunity. And then they they finally get paid and they spend all their money on jerseys, and then the group breaks up and they just have to go home with all this Mitchell and Ness stuff, and they got nothing.
And some of them they confessed to killing people on the album. I remember Frederick had one of the craziest opening verses I've ever heard a rapper say on their first album.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, some niggas ain't never killed nobody. I'm Fred. That was the craziest.
I'm Fred. Some niggas ain't never killed nobody. I'm Fred.
It's just so. And that's Dylon wasn't even on that song because he was barely in the studio.
Dylon legally couldn't be on that song. That was in that letter that the state of Florida wrote to Bad Boy that Dylon could not be on that song.
Just that show was just. I mean, I definitely have to find that page you're talking about because that's not only some of the funniest reality TV, but some of the most entertaining.
When they got in a fight, and then they made they told Diddy
let him fight.
that no though the first season when it was a white dude. He always had the baggy hats and the Knicks stuff on and stuff.
I don't remember that dude because the white dude I'm thinking about.
He was crying, and then they told Diddy that he cried, and Diddy just roasted him for 10 minutes. It was this is incredible.
Yeah.
This is the craziest show on television.
It really is. And then it got crazier because with the Day 26 season when he had Donnie Kling or whatever, and they had sing-offs instead of rap-offs. That was wild. Yeah, the men just singing emotionally.
Although we go to the end of the... Yeah, I ain't never had no singing battle.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I wish I could sing well enough to Shirts versus Skins singing.
They were all wife beaters and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It was Shirts versus Skins to singing, man. Shout out to Affion Crockett putting that sketch up back when people would just put up sketches of him making fun of Making a Band 4, We in the Door, Making a Band 3, Danity Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Wait, so Day 26 is making Band 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Danny Kane, I mean, they eventually merged them because then they were like, Diddy fired Danny Kane.
Yeah. And then they had some of the Danny Kane, some of the Day 26.
I remember that, not Aubrey.
I want to work for Diddy. Remember that show?
No.
VH1 had a show, and it was like The Apprentice, but it was like Diddy. Yeah, it was called I Want to Work for Diddy.
And did it take place at Bad Boy, or was it at Sean John?
Or it was everything.
Oh, God.
And then Dame Dash had his show, which was called, it was something, but it was like very similar. So It was like his Apprentice. It was on BET.
Okay.
And like, yeah,
Dame Dash. I would definitely go with Diddy over Dame, especially knowing what I know now. I would definitely go.
Yeah, but no, Dame Dash is an entertaining reality show boss. Because he'll just go off on you about how you tied a tie in a promo. I would never have a tie look like that. I said, make sure the tie's busting out. That ain't busting out.
That's a very good Dame Dash impression. I mean, I still go with Diddy all the time. Like, especially reality TV. There's barely a talent that's matched that insanity, but also been incredibly charming and entertaining.
You watch Carisha Please?
Nah.
Young Miami's talk show. She interviewed Diddy on the first episode. It's wild. You never seen Diddy be so uncomfortable.
Really?
It's wild. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Diddy at many VMAs where he looks like, this is wild. So
Diddy's got one of the greatest VMA performances ever.
Tell him.
It's
Are we thinking about the same one?
Pastor Cavoursier?
Yes, with the little white kid dancing.
And they got these kids, and they are like, I don't even know if these things exist. They are like
with the leg thing,
bungee leg things that they're jumping around, flipping on. Usher comes out.
He breaks through a glass.
Throws his chain around his neck like a hula hoop and starts dancing. It's Diddy. It's Busta Rhymes. It's nuts.
I've never felt more connected to somebody when it comes to live performances than what you just said. That's literally one of my favorite performances in the VMAs.
Oh, over Madonna with the wedding dress.
Oh yeah.
Over LL Cool J with the band his dad hired the day before. Over
Britney Spears almost falling down during the Give Me More.
Yes, Rihanna laughing at Britney Spears.
Oh, that was sad.
Up there, yeah. I'm putting, over He Who Must Not Be Named with the Angel Wings and Shaka Khan. I'm putting Diddy, Busta Rhymes, Usher,
Jamie Foxx.
Pharrell was on stage as well. Hosted by Jimmy Fallon, best VMA performance, period.
Okay.
Brandon, we went in and took some deep dives.
We did.
We got in some holes.
Appreciate it.
This is a true episode of the Inconsistent Podcast. I didn't know we was gonna get here. We started with Gucci, we ended with Diddy. Is there anything that you would like to promote? You would like to tell the people?
Absolutely. Thursday, February 23rd, I have Drunk Black History, which I host with my friend Gordon Baker Bone.
I love Gordon Baker Bone.
He's wild.
There's a couple people in this world that make me feel funnier just being around, and one of those people is Gordon Baker Bone. I've never not felt joy being around somebody like I felt being around Gordon Baker Bone.
He's my first comedy friend I've hit the road with. I've gone to different places and stuff to do shows. He's Gordon Baker Bone's the truth. And so we do this show to educate people about unsung black heroes or events that American history has tried to keep from public knowledge. You know what I mean? Because we also talk about our educational upbringing. Even though he grew up in Newark, I grew up in Ann Arbor, we both still have very limited black history taught to us in the schools. And so what we try to do is educate people while also having a few drinks, because our history, unfortunately, is pretty traumatic and painful. So it just helps you bring out the laughs a little bit more, bring some levity. And we talked about Lonnie Johnson, the creator of Super Soaker. We talked about Matthew Henson, who was like the first like explorer to go to Alaska, like Antarctica and stuff like that. So
I know about Matthew Henson.
Yeah. So it's like and we also have like a lot of comedians, but we also have scholars on. Like we had Dr. Andre Amperi, who talked about redlining. Like it's a good variety. And the plus side with the show is that not only will you laugh, but you're going to learn something. And I think that that's one of the coolest things about Drunk Black History. So Thursday, February 23rd, drunkblackhistory.com. To get tickets, we're both in person and live streaming from the Bellhouse in Brooklyn, New York. So if you're not in New York, it's okay. You can just join us on the live stream. It's always an interactive chat. But try to be there in person because it's always a dope show. Like energy is just, it's unmatched. I've never produced a show that has the kind of energy that Drunk Black History has.
That's fire. Yeah. Make sure y'all follow Brandon Collins out here doing his thing. I don't know if I could say all the stuff that he's doing right now, but he's got some cool stuff in the works. So make sure y'all pay attention to you, man. It's been the Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. Join the Patreon, man. I'm doing stuff on there. Stuff that y'all don't even know about over here. And you want to hear the music on the pod? That's the only place to go where you can hear the music and see the visuals. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that too often. They might shut me down over there, but just know, if you know, you know.